Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Beautiful afternoon out there today. Well, this is going to be brief. I'm sorry we were late. We were in a meeting that ran over, needless to say. But there are a couple of things that I want to chat with you about today. One, of course, is the COVID numbers. Two is second vaccinations for this Saturday. And then three, of course, we want to talk about the FEMA event that will start next week, next Wednesday. And then we want to talk just a little bit about rental assistance. So I'm going to go quickly here. Yesterday, we reported 26 new cases in the city of St. Louis. On the 29th and the 28th, there were 6 cases each day. So our average number of cases for the last 7 days is right at 21 new cases per day. In terms of number of people in the hospital, 250 people are in the hospital in the region, either confirmed COVID or suspected. Of that, 68 people are in the ICU. That's up a bit. That's up about 9 people from the last few days, and 39 people are on ventilators. So still good numbers in terms of hospitalizations. However, having an uptick in the number of people in the ICU is concerning. Number of patients admitted per day to the hospitals in the region is averaging 36 people per day. So that's the COVID numbers here. Now, this weekend on Saturday, we are doing a second vaccination event, and that is for those people who got their first Moderna shot 4 weeks ago at Carpenter's Hall. On Monday, we thought that you would be going back to Carpenter's Hall, but the second dose of vaccines is going to be given at America Center this Saturday. You enter America Center off of Washington. There will be free parking. Little mix up with the venues. And so everyone by now who's getting a second shot on Saturday should have received either an email or a text message letting you know that it's going to be at the America Center this Saturday. Those are not first doses at the America Center. Those are second doses from 4 weeks ago. You all know who you are. It was given on, I think it was February 27th. No, that's not right.
I'll fact check in a second.
Okay, we'll fact check the date. 4 weeks ago, if you got your vaccine at Carpenter's Hall, you'll go this week to the America Center. Then, exciting news, you all know this, we talked about it a little bit on Monday, but FEMA is the Federal Emergency Management Agency is partnering with the state and the city to bring a big vaccination event to the Dome. You'll enter on the side of the Dome here, which is at America Center. That's going to start in earnest next Wednesday, so a week from today on the 7th of April. And so those folks, 3,000 doses a day, every day, 7 days a week, 8 in the morning to 6 in the afternoon, 6 in the evening for 8 weeks. So in order to sign up for that, best way to do that is to go to the state's vaccination site, and we will post that. We won't post it in the comments section on this. We'll post it as a fresh new comment so that there's no confusion about that. You go to the state's vaccine site to sign up for that. And then, of course, based on your zip code, they're going to begin with folks in St. Louis City, likely expand to folks in St. Louis County, because this is a lot of doses, 168,000 doses. That's about 105,000 people based on 6 weeks of Pfizer and 2 weeks of Johnson & Johnson. We met this morning with 2 of the generals who are in charge of orchestrating this event. Plans are well underway and everything's getting worked out. It'll all be worked out by next Wednesday. You will receive invitations to come there. And so you'll be getting that. They'll work off the state's list, where we believe they'll also work off the city's list in order to bring people to America Center starting next Wednesday and every day after that for the next 56 days. So that's good. We should be able to handle a lot of people who want to get the vaccine. And as you know, next week on Friday, I guess is the date that everyone in the state of Missouri, every adult in the state of Missouri becomes eligible to receive the vaccine. So get on the state's website. It's called Vaccine Navigator. We'll post a link to it. Get registered so that you can be sure to get in line. There's also a phone number for those people who don't have the ability to register electronically. There's also a phone number to call to get yourself on the list. So that is that. And then the last item, I want to, changing subjects a little bit here. We just announced today that beginning tomorrow, folks who need rental and utility assistance will be able to register for that on the state's website. And we'll post a separate link to that. We don't want to confuse people about the Vaccine Navigator and then the rental assistance. So we'll do that in just a little bit. But that website will be live tomorrow. It will, when you go to the website, you'll find all the eligibility criteria for the rental assistance, and you'll see how that you can apply for that. Landlords, the state has said that landlords will also be able to apply in order to help, because you really need both the tenant and the landlord to get all the documentation together in order to handle this. Now, we have already, and some of you know this, but we have already handled over 7,000 applications. And when I say we, I really mean the City of St. Louis and our partners, many of whom we have contracted with in order to process these applications. So those folks have already been helped through the rental assistance from a couple of other earlier acts, the CARES Act and then HB 133. And we still do have some funds that we are prioritizing to help people that are in the eviction process through the circuit court system. So those people in the eviction process will receive priority, and we'll be handling them separately. I think that's it. I think that's good news. I know that is news that people have been waiting for a long time, a couple of months. And so the eviction moratorium is still in place. And so if you believe that you qualify, we will post about this and you'll have a link. So, questions?
Let's make time for just a couple questions here. So Pat's question asks about the uptick in some of the metrics you mentioned at the top of your update, Mayor. Is that happening among the younger population, similar to what we're hearing around the country?
Well, it's interesting, Pat. It has been happening among the younger adults for quite a while. Hang on, I'm looking for the, give me 1 minute. Here it is. So it is happening, almost 30%, this is in the last month, almost 30% of the new cases have been folks in their 20s. 20% have been folks in their 30s. To be honest with you, it has been like that for 3 or 4 months. Only 13% of the people are in their 40s, 14% in their 50s, 8% in their 60s, 4% in their 70s, 2% in their 80s. This is on our website, but those are the statistics for the last month, since February 27th is the date of this. So there has not been a real change in that age group demographic since Christmas. So it's been consistent.
So we did get a question about some of the remaining public health mitigation strategies that remain in effect. What's the future of that look like, and what kind of metrics is the city looking at on whether or not they're going to stay in place?
Well, I think, and I've said this many times, I think mask mandate is going to stay in place for indoors and when you're outdoors in close proximity for a while. We're not considering lifting this mask mandate. I also think social distancing is going to stay in place for a while. Now, we have already eased up on some of the restaurant and bar restrictions. Hopefully we'll be able to ease up more on those. We are in conversations with the physicians in this case. But right now, the restriction is for bars and restaurants, for example, and event spaces. The restriction is 50% occupancy, so that you can socially distance, wear a mask, close at midnight. So not anything too strict there. But I do, I'm encouraged that we might be able to lift that somewhat. We do have to get the doctors to agree with that, though, so.
So we did get a couple questions, and you sort of mentioned this about the Dome event starting next week. Is it only for city residents, or will people in the region eventually be able to be invited? We had multiple people ask about that.
So it is primarily, it begins as for city residents, but we do expect that people in the region, on the Missouri side of the region, will be able to take advantage of that as well. So it kind of depends on what the demand is and what the need is, how many people sign up. We know that people are signed up on so many lists, and the other thing that we know is that, unfortunately, some people get multiple appointments, and they'll even get it, they'll register under John Smith, and then they'll register under Smith John, and there's not such a scarcity now, and so I really wish people would not do that, so that we have a better idea of what the real demand is. Because when people make multiple appointments, they may be showing up for one and letting the other one go, but that means that somebody else didn't get it. So it will be, we believe, a regional event probably in the very near future.
That is all we have time for today, Mayor.
Sorry, that's all we have time for today. We were late today. Couldn't be helped, but thank you all, and we'll be back and talk with you in a few days.